I'm going to talk. Yeah. So if you didn't get access to yesterday, if you requested those slides, then message me again. I try to give everybody access, but some of them kick back. So if that happened with you, let me know, and I'll get right back at it and open that up. I wanted to talk, yeah, and do that, guys. Do that this weekend. Did anybody do one of the actual tests? One of the self-awareness tests or personality traits or any of those? There's a couple of them that are free. Just get on Google and look up, personality test or free personality test online. There's a handful of different ones. And then there's the other ones that I have on the slide that you can pay for. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a couple of the free ones this weekend to kind of check out because I've already paid for the other ones. And I normally do those every 2 to 5 years, kind of depending on, because things change so much. That's hopefully you continue growing, developing, and you're a little bit different today than you were before. So, all right, on that note, I want to talk a little bit about branding yourselves online on social media. So this is going to be 2 parts because I'm going to talk about some of it today. I'm going to talk about a little bit more about headlines and content on Monday. And the reason I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of the branding and all of this is because there's kind of some mistaken ideas when it comes to branding, what branding is, marketing versus advertising, right? When I say branding, what do you guys think branding is? I'm going to need some back and forth and some questions on this call, but we're going to go about 25 minutes. So throw some stuff at me. When I talk about branding, what ideas do you guys have in mind?
Your specific niche.
Okay, your niche is part of it. Yeah, deciding on a niche is essential.
The desirability, creating a desirability.
Creating desirability, is that what you said, Raul?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. And so here's the thing about branding. Right? You guys are not, and I mentioned this on one of the slides, you're not large corporations yet. So there's branding, and then there's like awareness branding, and there's slogans, and how do I build myself into an influencer, and what can I do with this, and building a following, and advertising and branding, and what a lot of us grew up knowing as, what would fall into this category. Like if any of you guys have seen the show Mad Men, right? And it was all about, they'd come up with a slogan, but then there would be, has anybody seen that? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Mad Men's a show about advertising in, I want to say it was like the 60s, right? And it's all of the stereotypes from the time and all that kind of craziness. But Richard says your branding is what people say about you when you're not there. Yeah, that's part of it, right? It's how people recognize you. And personally, that kind of falls into that same thing, right? So how are you branded with those around you? So the idea for a long, long time was, how can we be recognizable? How will people remember us? And this goes now with social media and the position that you're in. It's got to go deeper than that. Okay. So I'm going to hit on a few things and these slides again. Now, as you're going in, your branding, your activities, your content, everything that you do online has to have a purpose. And it's not just, my posts or my content. It's not just, I want to create a better brand. I want people to remember me. It's not just that, okay? So a handful of these. When you go in, everything that you do, everything that your brand does, all of the content you have to walk in with a plan from the beginning. These should actually be, these are some things these are kind of bullet points. So write these down as bullet points first. Again, I can get these to you guys. But some ideas when it comes to branding, when it comes to launching, when it comes to stuff you're going to be putting out, your funnels, all this kind of stuff. So have a plan to sell from the very beginning. Everything that you do should revolve around, how do I generate revenue, right? Don't make delaying a desirable option. So this is, call to action. This is part of direct response, right? Does everybody know what direct response is? Direct response marketing is essentially what you guys have with the funnel, the way Blake has built it out. Blake does a great job at direct response himself. And you guys have now the tools to do this. Direct response is I'm getting them to take action, right? You're engaging with people in order to drive a response from them, some type of action. It's not just, hey, look at me, I'm shiny pretty, right? It's not just the golden arches. It's not just the Nike swoosh. It's not just the Amazon, kind of that smile logo, right? It's a direct response to everything that I'm doing. That's what I'm going after, right? So that's the clear instructions of what you need them to do now. So everything that you do, you're going to track and measure. Now, Facebook Analytics has that. ClickFunnels has tracking and measuring. But you've got to pay attention to what you're putting out, the content, and how people are interacting with it. Okay? That's important. Now, all of these things go into your content and your branding. People are like, well, what does this have to do with my branding? I thought branding was just my customization, my logo, my colors, all of that. That's a piece of it. And that helps people feel warm and fuzzy, and it does relate to how well things convert. But you've got to have a purpose behind everything you do. The funnel that Blake's got built out, there's a purpose behind every single aspect of it. Every headline, all of the content, all of the theme that's there, there's a purpose behind it, right? Does everybody get that? Does that make sense for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, good. So branding should be a byproduct of effective direct response marketing, not the other way around. Okay. So my direct response marketing isn't because I've done well on my branding. I do well on my branding because people respond to the marketing, the headlines, the content, the things that I'm putting out. People start to engage with that because it goes back to, who was it that said it at the beginning of the call? Was Billy said something about like your target, right? Your niche. So when you understand what that niche is, and because of that, I'm engaging with them more, it becomes easier to create that branding along with it, right? So my posts, promotions, ads, photos, posturing, all of it should have a goal of sales. I do all of those things in order to generate money, not to brand. Even though 85% of what I'm putting out there on my page, for example, because you're doing organic content, even though 85% of it's just content and 15% maybe actual sales, like I want you to do something, that content is done in a way to connect with your audience and help them understand that you know what's going on, right? So what I talk about on that next line, posts should cultivate interest in whatever pain your product will relieve. So quick question, ladies and gentlemen. So
what is the
I'm not Blake.
WIIFM mean?
What's that?
What does the WIIFM mean?
What's in it for me?
Or what's in for me? Okay.
Right? You ever heard that? Has anybody ever heard that? What's in it for me? That's what customers care about.
Yes.
They don't care about how shiny you are unless you can speak to them, right? The funnel is great. The reason the funnel works so well is because there's great direct response copy, marketing copy that's been written out. So my page is my name. I do not have an active funnel up right now because I'm transitioning. I'm getting ready to launch some new stuff. I've got a link there to my coaching that I'm not actively promoting at the moment. I'm kicking off because I'm writing some new content, a little bit different. Okay. I'll talk with you about it, Lynn. But yeah, I'm putting together some content for a project that I've been kind of my pet project I've been working on forever. So, I've got other stuff for my digital agency that's out and about. So what is it you guys have with this funnel? We have businesses that don't know how to market, that are coming in and saying, they're frustrated because they've got empty businesses. They've got empty schedules. Their calendars are empty. They don't know what to do. They have payroll to make, right? Those are the problems they've got. Your solution is teaching them how to utilize and leverage social media to market and advertise. That's what you've got. Okay. So when they go, what's in it for me? Hey, I'm solving your problem. So your content is speaking to that pain or their gain, right? That's what you're coming after. Now they've shown over and over and over again, studies have shown people respond more to that pain, right? When you speak to it, but you've got to be able to show that there's some gain there. So it's not just like the benefits and attributes of a good product that you're focusing in on. It's what is this going to do for Paul and his business, right? Am I clear with this, everybody? So my content that I'm putting out all the time is to show that I understand your pain and I understand your industry and I understand what's going on, and I can do that turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
We clear there? Okay.
Yep.
So this is, so yeah, the what's in it for me, what is it, what's in it for me, so that when you do make the pitch, they know that you know. That's it, right? It isn't just about building up followers and likes. Followers and likes that don't do anything don't matter, right? If you're not engaging with them, right? If there's no ROI. So branding should be a byproduct again of direct response marketing, not the other way around. Wait, oh, that's this one I'm trying to get to here. Okay, so it's not just a slogan, guys. Sometimes people think it's just a slogan. Has anybody heard these? Did anybody know that always in beta is New Balance, or impossible is nothing? Nothing sucks like an Electrolux. I will. Impossible. Like, oh, I had that one. Victoria's Secret, a body for everybody. My point is, branding isn't just, hey, let's have this cool slogan, right? And a lot of people think that. I need to have a cool slogan for my business. No. What you need to do is you need to be able to speak to your market. Speak to your niche, right? So here's what I want to talk to you a little bit about. And then I'm going to give you a couple things to jot down. So a unique selling position or a market dominating position. Who's heard of a USP? USP.
Yep.
Anybody want to explain what a USP is?
Unique selling proposition or something.
Or position. Yep. Unique selling position. So I want you guys to think about some businesses that you know, or maybe some of you guys run businesses. And I do this with businesses. I've been doing it for years. So when I say, okay, what's your unique selling position? What's something about your business that's totally unique? What are some things that you see or that you hear or that maybe you use in your business? What do you guys think? Interact with me here. Give me some.
Should I talk about my business?
Sure. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. So I have one, a hotel, which is sitting right on the water. Mm-hmm. That's the only hotel which has got a bar, a restaurant and a bar. And it sits in a place where a lot of sporting activity happens, like snowmobiling to ATVs and stuff. So what we promote and talk about is that you don't need once you come back after all your activities, you don't need a DUI. Once you come home, that's it. You are done. So you have everything you need. Yeah. Good. So that's where we are very unique in that market.
Good. And that's a great point. So he's got a hotel. They're the only ones in the area with a restaurant and bar. So you're out doing other stuff. You don't need to go anywhere. We've got it right here for you, right? So think about, because I know I've talked with some people that talked about maybe marketing to plumbers or contractors, right? Some of you guys have thought that. Have you guys ever seen like the family-owned business or in business since, 1982, right? You've seen things like that. Yeah. And people are so proud about that. And they're like, that's a great selling point for our business. And I go, okay, so what if I find a business, if you've been in business since 1982, what if I find a business that's been around since 1975? Should I do business with them instead? Right? Could we make a list of every family-owned business? But a lot of the businesses that you're going to work with, and I'm just saying this because what's going to make you guys different, right? There's a difference. So a unique selling position is what are you bringing to the table, right? And now I want to get kind of the unique selling position on steroids is something I call the market dominating position. So it's kind of next level. So a lot of you guys are stepping into this and you don't have all the experience with marketing, and that's okay. You have a tool that functions exceptionally well, and you're going to turn yourselves into the experts in your category, right? Everybody's going to be doing that, aren't they? You're all going to become the absolute experts in marketing inside your arena, right? Every single one of you is going to be amazing. And we're all going to be on stage talking about the different niches that we're just crushing. And people are like, damn, Billy really knows his stuff about plumbers, health, doctors. I don't know. When it comes to marketing, Renee crushes with chiropractors. Whatever it may be, you guys are going to have that. Billy, did you have something you wanted to say?
No.
No? Okay. You came off of mute. So I just, and your square's right next to mine on my screen. So that's why I asked. All right. So here's what I want you guys to understand kind of with the market dominating position. This is what a market dominating position is. Now, you've got headlines with Blake stuff, but in your emails, in your content, right? something they have but they don't want, something they want but they don't have. This is speaking to them in the headline, sub-headline. This is part of what you're doing, right? Your market dominating position is going to be a little bit different. It goes along the lines of what Raul was talking about. But your headlines and things to speak to, this is how, because your prospect comes up and your marketing, your content, the stuff you're posting all the time, this is what you're describing to them in 85% of what you do, right? Does everybody get that? Your prospect is asking, why should I choose to do business with you versus every other person? Every other option that's out there, why you? Right? Now, this is where your market dominating position comes in, but in order to answer that, you've got to be able to understand this about your niche, right? What does your niche have, but they don't want, and they want, but they don't have? Now, obviously that's, it's not a full schedule and they want more customers. Great. But get more in depth with that niche so that it makes more sense. Any questions on those two or comments on this right here, on these key points? I'm going to talk more about this stuff on Monday. We're going to get a little bit more into the content, how to create content and headlines according to these things. But does anybody want to ask something, say something, tell me I'm full of crap? I mean, participate.
This is great stuff. This is great stuff. Thank you for shedding the light on it.
So this is every single thing you post, guys. This is the question that you're answering for people. Every single thing that you put out, every email that you may put out. And yes, are there email templates that you can use? Yes, absolutely. At some point, if you're looking to scale this business beyond a certain level, you will write some emails, or you're going to get them, outsourced. And if you're getting them outsourced, you've got to be able to look at that email and go, this doesn't talk with my niche at all, right? It's great, but it's super generic, right? Create your own voice in your marketing. Now, some of you guys are going to choose to outsource the content. That's fine, but you still should direct the voice that leads that content. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Everybody with me on that? Because I know some of you guys run your businesses like that. That's fine. I do a lot of that. But when I get stuff back, there's a number of times I'm like, no, this isn't me, right? And it's not the message I want. It's not a message that speaks to our audience. This has to change, right? And that's going to be important for you as you grow and as you scale. Okay. So last few things here. Okay. Building your brand. I should have changed the headline here. Sorry. So this should be, and it'll be changed when you guys see it. This is supposed to be building your brand. Things to keep in mind as you build your brand. Okay. So build it where it counts. So it only matters to your target, that niche, or that specific subculture, right? So who was it? Was it Richard who said, Richard talked about branding is who you are when no one else is around, what they say about you, right? It's what you are about that resonates with a very specific group, right? This is why politicians can be so great. You look at who's there right now, right? And not getting into love them, hate them, whatever. Trump is a perfect example, right? Because he speaks to his base. He knows what they want to hear, and his message is it's clear across the board. This is it. This is who he is, right? And so it's strengthened that base over and over. But here it is. Here's the message, and it's not changing, right? Your message, right? Your branding, your content is about delivering that and then creating that call to action. You think on both sides, Biden and Kamala and Trump and Pence, you think they had branded content and then a call to action every single time, right? And the call to action with them was what? It was either give me money or give me your vote, right? And that's it. That's what the politicians are after. But they were very clear all of the time. That's what they were going after. And they were speaking to a very specific a very specific niche. And that's also why certain politicians never reach that level. A lot of times, guys, it's not because they're not capable or intelligent or eloquent, but they don't speak well enough to a very specific group. right? They don't speak well enough. They're trying to communicate with everybody. And so they end up not converting what they need to. You guys need to do that same thing. You've got a niche. Your message has to speak to that niche. That's where your branding comes in, right? What do they have that they don't want? What do they want that they don't have? Why are they going to buy from you versus anybody else? You're creating a subculture with that. That's why, with Blake, he's got, it's not just him, right? He's created that, but he builds out that group, right? Bob Proctor, he's built up a following of people that follow, because that's where you get the raving fans come in, right? So last couple of things I want to share here. Build as a byproduct of solid, accountable, profitable direct response. That's how you build your brand. It's a byproduct of solid, accountable, profitable direct response marketing. And then that's the brand identity together with customer culture. Think about large scale, Disney, Starbucks, some of these other brands, especially recently when it comes to social media, some of the best brands are engaging with their audience in a way and kind of creating those followers like that. That's perfect. And then the last bit about branding, it's not as much about, your logo is important, guys, but you become, since you're a small business, a lot of you are that logo. Okay. And it doesn't have to be for everybody. It really doesn't. But if you're trying to really get it going, you don't have to create the huge corporate identity. Just be you and create that voice and then build on that, right? And then have the confidence to do it, because every single one of you guys is capable of it. Okay. So those are key points with branding. If you want the slides, let me know. Just some things to think about. Get out and be a little bit more self-aware. Sit down and do the exams for yourself this weekend. Get online and do some tests. Okay, hobby, yes, slides. That's great.